welcome array swoop around the outside. Joshua Germany putting up an almighty defence. Garrett Kaler taking his second win. Stephen King for Pulse eSports makes it 3 for 3 at Oran Park. Andy Fox wins. Henry Morse makes it the double and takes another win here at Watkins Glen. Blake comes around the final corner and across the line. Jameson Huffman has done it. Championship rival Morgan Burkhardt wins again. And there we have it. Two-time Jetta Cup champion Jake Cranston. Well, there you have it, guys and girls. Welcome back to the racing line. We are finally here. It's the Jetta Cup. It's season 3, powered by GT Omega, of course, in partnership with VCO eSports. You can see the information on your screen. It is Media Day. I am your commentator, your commentary team, Jack Johns, broadcast here on the Racing Line YouTube and Twitch, and VCO eSports YouTube and Twitch, 4 channels, and it's about to begin. It is that time. I'm so excited. So are all the drivers, and I can see in chat, so is chat. We've got Robbo, who's rooting for Eric Madenveld, Floris Weiss rooting for Eric Madenveld. He's got some fans. Cackler's in Twitch chat. Biggie Morello's in Twitch chat. Says, let's go. Robbo says, song name. It was Vaporeon. Donnie Henriksen says, can't wait. There's almost a slight hint of sarcasm when Donnie Henriksen says that. He's had a load of crash races recently, but hopefully he's gonna be all right. He's gonna be all right. Anyway, we've got some familiar names out on track, but you may notice. One of the first things is, I mean, there's a couple people missing today for Media Day, but the grid has been extended. We have 36 drivers this season. That is 12 teams of 3 for the Volkswagen Jetta Cup here at Oulton Park, which kicks off on Media Day. No points on offer today, but, well, it's about to begin. Donnie Henriksen isn't actually here today. Leading the way is on your team's parade. You can see here. I wonder if Blimp Cam is the best. Oh, look at that. Jerry Agard and Jake Cranston for Masters of Talk there. Last year's team's champions leading the way. Donnie Henriksen also in that team, who is in chat watching away. Behind them is Pulse eSports, the runner-up team. All 3 drivers on the grid. Joshua Germany back from last season. Stephen King back from both seasons. And a new driver, Timu Toika, the Finnish driver, who's already got some fans in chat I've seen. One of them is our resident photographer, Iku Kakala, who is... you've seen him in chat, you've seen him in Twitch chat already. Some people cutting the chicane, some people not. Win it or bin it there, showing why they're called that. There they are. That is them. John Bailiff, Andy Fox remain with Win It or Bin It, and they have a new driver in the shape and form of Stephen Burns, who is replacing Dan Blake, who is still on the grid. The next team, I've lost the order because of this mess, but I can see ORD there, so let's have a look at them. Here is ORD and their current driver lineup. Dan Thornton remains, who is the team boss, the team owner. You then got Andre Majorek, who returns from the RLTC, makes the jump over from RLTC, the Touring Car Championship that we held, and their new driver, a new driver on the grid, his debut in the Volkswagen Jetta Cup, Patrick Dupart, the Polish driver, another nationality that we finally see there on the left-hand side. Behind them is Lurchus Gaming. You can see there they are in their new liveries. Ikalakwe uses Amundere remain for Lurchus Gaming, and another driver making his Volkswagen debut is David Corpus, jumping over from the RLTC, also who raced with Lurchus Gaming. And now they're all going behind the trees, so I'm going to struggle to see what team is next. Looks like they're all struggling to get through here for some reason. I hope this isn't going to be a sign of how the races go. But you can see actually a nice clear shot of ZFG there. Of course, well, this is Frog Leap Juiced Racing. So these seem to be the guys that are struggling to keep it straight on track for Media Day. There's 2 of the cars. Ray Oliver with the blown engine, Jameson Huffman with damage, and Kyle Ridley is somewhere out there as well, one of the other Australians. Very keen netcode racers they are. You can see they are struggling. Who else? We've got some more new teams. We need to get through these new teams quickly. Here is Street Casuals, Austin Farr, Henry Morse, and oh my god, I've forgotten who their third driver is. Oh, Eric Mannenveld, of course. He's got some fans in chat. Eric Mannenveld is Street Casuals' third driver. You can see Greg Otley there, who was an independent driver last season. He is now racing for ZFG. And next to them, that is a striking livery there. The Meatball Motorsport car behind Greg. Just about missed it. We'll get a chance to see them all in the race, but I want to show this livery here. At the back, a new team. Dan Blake driving for this team, but Adekoba Lopez down here as well with over 8k I rating, an insane amount. Team 12 there. That's Dan Blake coming into the pits. Is anyone still out on track? Carl Ridley's there. Andre Mayerek's driving around. Jerry Agard. And last year's champion. Gotta give him the shout out. Last year's champion, Jake Cranston. Two-time champion, we can't forget. Out of the 2 Jetta Cups we've run, he has won them both. But we see some new rules. That is a different livery than I expected to see on that car, and it's actually quite nice. But yeah, so Jake Cranston, just a quick mention as it ticks over into qualifying, which is open, by the way. They're all going to be on track at once. It's going to be an absolute slipstream fest, and they need to find themselves some space. But big rule change for Season 3. Jake Cranston has won the previous 2 Jetta Cups. Season 2 was harder, as the standards stepped up by quite a large amount in a good way. However, previously, the sprint race was always worth half the points of the feature race, which the drivers many a time discussed whether it was right or whether it was the wrong thing to do, because obviously you qualify, whoever qualifies on pole gets the fastest lap time. They start first in the sprint race, which is only worth half the points, and then the top 12 is reversed in the feature race and you get double the points. And effectively, in Season 2, because it was more difficult, Jake Cranston was actually having so he did have some bad races, but they were all sprint races, and then he would climb his way back up in the feature, which of course is a show of his skill, and ended up taking the championship. This time, both races are worth the same amount of points, because people argued that the first race is more difficult to win than the second. Which could be true, could not be. We're going to find out this season. It's going to be close. There's also bigger points gaps near the top, so if someone's going to dominate these races, which is unlikely, but we could see it, we don't know these things, but if someone's going to dominate these races, then they could run away with this, but I highly doubt it. We haven't seen that yet, and I don't expect to see it today. Let's have a look at that track map to see where everyone is. I'll tell you what, the smartest team, just by looks, is going to be Win It or Bin It, because they have left a gap to everybody else. A small gap, mind, and they've all gone out together to slipstream each other. But enough of a gap not to be hindered by all of those other cars up there. You can see some people setting times. The first people that are going to be across the line. So Dan Blake is up here. Let's have a look. He's got Lopez in front of him. So he's following his teammate. I don't know if they're in chat together, to be honest, on media day. There's no points on offer, like I said, but they still need to try and race seriously, although the practice didn't really show that, which is annoying. But I'll speak to them afterwards. They were all there trying to get some photos for the teams. We didn't look like it went very well. So here we go then. 2 minutes into qualifying, 6 minutes left, and these two are the first on track. I actually think Dan's a little too close to Lopez, who's moved out the way. Oh no, sorry. I forgot what layout they were doing for a second. It's the hairpin. He's not moved out the way. It's a tight right hairpin. I picked the track. I need to wake up. Wake up. Here we go. Down the slipstream straight. Tell me what the sound is like, guys. I can see Robbo in chat says, let go. Eric the GOAT. Is that diesel engine too loud, or can you hear me nice and clear and hear the cars? This is a nice little shot, actually, on top of Blake's car. Let's have a quick look inside. This is what it looks like on board the Jetta. And this is the speeds they reach in kilometers an hour. So we'll see in the slipstream as they climb up the hill, over to the right-hand side. The track naturally drifts over to the right and then back over to the left. It'll be nice and smooth with the steering so you don't hear any tyre squealing. There's actually someone behind this train of these two Team 12 drivers. I'm not sure where the other Team 12 driver is, actually. I think he's somewhere in that big train. That'll be Rod Askew, a new driver here with us. One of the new American drivers. And we've got some purple sectors, obviously. The first one's out on track. But Dan Blake is going to be the second one across the line. Has anyone 1x'd their laps? Because the 1x is actually, we need to mention Oulton Park for 1x's. Agard has taken pole position, so that would be, I'll tell you where Agard is. There he is. He's driving behind both of these two. So he's got 2 cars in front of him, both Team 12 drivers, and currently Jerry Agard's on pole, but going at a 10th quicker does Stephen King, who is now sitting on pole position. Here is Stephen King for Pulsar eSports. Andre Mayerek goes to the top of the times, 1/10 quicker than Stephen King for ORD. He's still up there now. Ray Oliver slots in between. He's up in P3. Morgan Burkhardt, last year's runner-up for Project Dynamics, slots into P2, a 10th behind. These gaps are insane, and they're going to be like that all season. Let's have a look at it like this so we can see the real gaps. John Bailin goes on to pole with a 1:35.1 for Win It or Bin It, and he's at the head of this train of Win It or Bin It cars, so he was not getting slipstream. That means he's going to be one to watch today for sure, if he's got that sort of pace without getting helped, unless he got let past. Donnie in chat says everything's great, stream looks stellar too. Don't know what you did to it since last time, but massive improvement. Thank you very much. The overlays got cleaned up. They're basically, the colours changed from the RLTC overlays. The teams have updated their liveries, which I think helps make it look more professional. I'm sure people can agree. There's only 20 drivers set times out of the 33 that are out there today. Who is missing other than Donnie? Donnie from Arsenal Talk is missing. Arthur Thurtle for Project Dynamic is missing. I think everyone else is here, unless I'm forgetting one person. As Ade Koba Lopez for Team 12 goes 3rd fastest. So his second lap was a lot better. He's moving out the way now. He's done. Dan Downing for Goldwing. We didn't get to see Goldwing in that practice. Austin Farr for Street Casuals, and Stephen King goes back to the top of the times, 400ths quicker than Jameson Huffman in the ZFG. No, he's not in ZFG anymore. I need to stop saying that. I'm going to have to learn the teams. New teams. People have swapped over people. It's actually fascinating to me how technically this is eSports. I know it's a game. And we've created this monster where all these people are crawling out the woodwork to drive this old front-wheel drive diesel beast. And now that we're that's not the right way, Jameson. You've made my mistake. That's the wrong track. What happens is we're 3 seasons deep now. We've got 12 teams on the grid. Some of these teams have been with us since season 1, and it's really bizarre how the stories become real. So we're all talking about silly season in Formula 1, but silly season happens in this as well. It was absolutely crazy. People actually have, like Henry Morse, for example, has been a Pulsar driver for the last 2 seasons. He's helped Pulsar take the team's championship in season 1, obviously with Stephen King and Joshua Germany. And then in season 2, although he had a couple of nightmares, he helped them finish P2 by having some strong finishes at the end. He had won both races at Watkins Glen in the final round. And then he's jumped ship and made Street Casuals with Austin Farr, his American teammate, 2 Americans on the team, and Eric Mannenfeld has joined Street Casuals. So those of you in chat rooting for Eric, that is the team that you want to be watching. I'm trying to find Eric on my timing screen right now. Can you see, where's the Dutch flag? 21st at the moment is Eric Mannenfeld. Here he is, but he's at the head of the train of Martin Wallace and one of the Goldwing cars behind. I think that's the number 33 of Murray. Yes, it is. South African driver Duncan Murray. And Mannenfeld's off. He's mowing the grass. So his qualifying not going too strongly. But as I was saying, so Henry Morse opened up a seat at Pulsar, which has been one of the top 2 teams for the last 2 seasons. And we struggled, really, to find... Everyone had signed their drivers pretty early. Greg Otley was a strong independent driver last season, who now races for ZFG, who was probably on the radar. Goldwing had locked down all of their drivers because Dan Downing was another promising prospect. He's up there in P5. In the end, newcomer, it's been a big risk, and we're going to see how he gets on with the season, but newcomer Timu Toika, the Finnish driver in the number 46 car, has ended up taking the seat. He impressed in the driver selection day, as did all of the new drivers, otherwise they wouldn't be on the grid. We're going to see how he gets on in round 1. We're going to see how they all get on in round 1 next week at Donington. I didn't get a chance to go through the calendar before the race starts, but qualifying is over, and that is your order. So let's go through the grid and see what it looks like. This is your grid for Media Days. Race 1, the sprint race, approximately 15 minutes, no pit stops. The sprint from start to finish. Stephen King takes pole position. He takes first honours, first blood. Jameson Huffman for Frog Leap Juice Racing. John Bailiff and Austin Farr. That is a strong top 4. Daniel Downing in P5. Greg Otley in P6 for Zero Forks Giving Racing. He'll be buzzing with that. Andre Marek, Team ORD in P7. Ade Koba Lopez, not used to the car, but he's up there in P8 and he'll be getting stronger throughout the season for sure. Patrick Dupart on his debut in P9. Morgan Burkhardt P10, last year's runner-up. Jeremy Agard and Joshua Germany round off your top 12. We don't want to be doing that one row at a time. That will take forever. Andy Fox, Ray Oliver, Martin Wallace, David Corpus, Dan Blake, Kyle Ridley, Henry Mawson, Timu Toika round off your top 20. Sam Van Olst, Stephen Burns, Eric Manintveld, Ika Lequay, Alexander van der Velde, Jesus Amundere, and Jan Weiswanger and Brandon Hughes round off your top 28. There's 1 second between the top 26 drivers. Dan Thornton in P29, Alejandro Caraday in 30th, Sebastian Holmichael, Duncan Murray, Jake Cranston and Rod Askew round off your field. Jake Cranston, last year's champion, starting in last, so I wonder if he just didn't get any laps in. So we just about made it to the end of the grid. That's going to be a struggle in the feature race because I only get a minute to do that. So bear that in mind. Hopefully someone will wait for me to try and get that grid done. Let's get rid of that dashboard. We can just about see everyone. I wonder if there's a better camera for this. That's turn 1. We don't want that one. I think we're just going to have to make do with that. Here they go then. Everyone's ready. And the lights are on. 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights. And let the chaos begin. Here we go. 8 laps around Oulton Park Island. 33 drivers are away. Stephen King gets a good start. Austin Farr shoots straight to the inside of John Bailiff as they head down towards turn 1. Look at the smoke from all the wheel spin as they all come filtering through. That Team 12 car really stands out in the pack. And look at the back order. Jake Cranston making moves already. He's up to 30th, but he's had to back out of one move. Sebastian Holmichael has got Caraday next on his radar. Back at the front, Stephen King's made a clean getaway. Team 12 going around the outside of Morgan Burkhardt there, the number 2 car. Big contact in the midfield as they go 4 wide through turn 3, coming down towards the hairpin. Now this is where it gets dangerous. Oh, Andy Fox is broken on the grass. He's going straight on. Has he crashed? Wait, how did he get that stopped? I'm sure he went across the grass. Has he missed everyone? I need to try and find that replay. He's gone somewhere. Oh, he did get it stopped. That is insane. I don't know if I can see where that started. Let's have a quick replay of Andy Fox there. How did it happen? Ray Oliver nudged him towards the grass. He's broke. He shoots to the inside. Oh, he used the wall. And I'll tell you what, there's not many drivers that would do that. That is a perfect... I mean, it's not perfect for him, but look at that. Everyone survived. Andy Fox deserves a medal for doing that straight away. Unbelievable scenes. And then he gets back on. He waits for the whole grid to pass, and away they go. They've all made it through the chicane somehow. I can't see any issues there, and that is great news for everyone. And Andy Fox actually joins back onto the end. I wonder if he's got damage. We hear some more contact as they come through the final corners. Greg Otley is up there in P5, chasing down Austin Farr. He's up 1 position. Your biggest gainer, though, Eric Manintveld, Alexander van der Velde, and Jesus Amundere down here in 19th, 20th, and 21st. They've gained 5 places. Kyle Ridley is looking under pressure as he goes in towards turn 1. That's Timu Toika behind him. This is what it looks like on the rear of Kyle Ridley's car, who's using all of the track on the exit. The maximum amount of X's in these races is 24, as Dan Blake has entered into the pit, so I wonder if he has had an issue. Equal gone off track. I think that'll just be a 1X. I wonder if Dan Blake's got a meatball or if he's just got some sort of issue. We've got some people kicking off down here. Duncan Murray's gone off track. That'll be a 1X. Timu Toika looks to the inside of the hairpin of Kyle Ridley, touches him round, and he's going to get that position. That looked like a late move. Kyle won't be happy with that, but Sam Van Olst behind is going to take advantage of it. This is what it looks like from the back of Timu's car now. Kyle Ridley side by side with Sam Van Olst. What are they going to do through the chicane? Can Kyle break late? He's going to go around the outside of Sam. It's going to give him the inside of the chicane tyre wall. Sam goes wide. He's on the grass, and now he's going to come under pressure from everyone behind. There's contact. The Project Dynamic car sliding. The Street Casuals car is sliding. They're all drifting around back there. What is going on here? You've got Van der Velde, that's Jesus Amundere. There's a Win It or Bin It car there. Is that Andy Fox making it? No, Stephen Burns, sorry. He's got the Scottish flag on the back. I should have known that straight away. Alexander Van der Velde around the outside of Jesus Amundere through Druids. That'll be a good move to pull off. And now he's going to have to hold it around the outside of the final corner. I'll tell you who's been racing hard. It's Daniel Dowden and Koba Lopez, who's just lost a load of places there. So I wonder if Koba Lopez has made a mistake. Alejandro Carado's just passed Jake Cranston. That's not something you see every day. So there is just battles. This is going to be insane. There's battles all over the place. Alexander Van der Velde is in the pits. Manitveld's in the pits. That'll be some meatball flags for those drivers. It has to be. Andy Fox moves up into 31st. Rod Askew, our new driver here, is racing Dan Thornton into turn 1. And they've got Andy Fox for company just behind. That's down the bottom end. Who's closest though? Bailiff and Farr are still right next to each other. This is what it looks like at the front as Bailiff goes to the inside of Jameson Huffman into the hairpin. Can he get the best exit? The traction of the front wheel drive machine. Look at them as they exit the hairpin. Jameson Huffman now is going to have to try and hold it around the outside of Jonathan Bailiff into the chicane. He has to brake late and keep it on track. Austin Farr's going to try and pick up the pieces. Jameson does brake later. He's still held his car there. John turns into the apex anyway, loses the rear end. How many places is he going to lose? 1, 2. Greg Otley goes through. Dan Downing's going to go around the outside of the next corner. Look at that. Dan Downing's on the grass. Morgan Burkhart's going to try and come through as well. Andre Majorek and Patrick Depart in his debut is there in P10. Fantastic racing from these guys. John Bailiff, though, he's going to be frustrated with that, but Jameson Huffman, I think, was within his rights. And Dan Downing's broken on the grass. Around he goes on the outside of Druids, and look how many places he's going to lose as everyone starts filtering through. And Stephen King, all the meanwhile, has pulled a gap. He's 1 second ahead of the whole field as Jameson Huffman now is trying to fight off the fight of Austin Farr, the number 79 Street Casuals car with the flopper there on the front, with its nice angry looking grills. Henry Morse is racing Jesus Amundere and Stephen Burns here in P17 as Burkhardt and Bailiff swap over. They're side by side through turn 1. Robbo says Dog Champ. Tide 323 says Go Bob. Ditchman 1903 says Go Alex. Train 18 says Love Heart. Patrick Dupart, Giga Chad, let's go. It's good to see you all in Twitch chat and YouTube chat. Thank you for commenting wherever you're watching, whether it's on VCO eSports, YouTube and Twitch, and the Racing Line, YouTube and Twitch, as they head down towards the hairpin. Another time at the halfway point of this sprint race. Everyone should make it on fuel. They've all got a gallon of fuel in there. They're all running diesel engines, of course. As that Burns swapping places with Jesus around the outside of the hairpin. That is a difficult move to pull, and Jesus is going to try and fight him all the way up the hill now. How is he going to do here? That is the wrong chicane. Here they are into the chicane. This is everyone coming through on one of the static cameras. It's gone, so we'll get back to the action. Jesus Amundere did end up coming out behind Stephen Burns. Got to get used to all this again. Austin Farr still chasing down Huffman. I'm sorry, but we need to give an absolute... This is a perfect signing for Zero Forks Given Racing. Greg Otley, the number 93 car, is up there in P4. But is this reminiscent of previous media days where he's really performed well, and then as soon as points are on offer, things start to go wrong? Sam Van Alst and Jesus Amundere side by side heading towards the final corner. They got Jake Cranston for company there in 21st place, who started last to try and see how easy it is, I guess, to get from the back to the front like he used to sometimes. But the grid is now larger. The grid is closer together on pace. Or did he just 1x all of his laps and not get a quali lap in? Sam Van Alst through on Jesus Amundere. Jake Cranston chasing down the Lurchus Gaming cars. All looking a bit bent bodywork up here. On board with the Masters of Talk car. He's going to try and go around the outside of Jesus through this corner. That's a dangerous move. And there's another Lurchus Gaming car. That's Ika Lequay trying to take advantage as well. Now he's going to follow his teammate through. They're going to have to be careful here, because if Ika breaks later than Jesus, it could go horribly wrong. Oh no, he's broken nice and early. He's played it safe, but Jake Cranston turns in. Oh, that was close. Jesus keeps his nose in though, as he deserves to. Jesus Amundere fighting last year's champion in 19th place. Let's have a look how some of the new guys... We haven't seen Joshua Germany much this race. He's there in P9, chasing down Patrick Dupart, who's now in P8. Koba Lopez is there in P10. Ray Oliver is still surviving in P11. Jerry Agard, who was doing so well in practice, is still there in P12. And Martin Wallace, OG Martin Wallace in the ZFG car there in P13. Timu Toyka's up to 15th. Kyle Ridley, we haven't seen much of today. He's there in the Juiced Racing car in P16. Remember, the feature race is reverse top 12. So if you're in 12th place like Jerry Agard, you're going to start the feature in pole position. But it's also twice as long in length, pretty much, roughly twice as long in length, and they have to have a pit stop for fuel. As Morgan Burkhardt leans on Jonathan Bailiff as they head towards turn 1. Andre Majorek has a sniff of an overtake. John Bailiff tucks in behind. He didn't like that. It's a risk of a meatball if you rub these cars the wrong way. I am telling you that right now. Although they have been made a little bit more robust since iRacing's update from Season 2. We asked iRacing to do something about it, and they actually did, which we thank them for. But there's still the odd occasion, if the wheel is hit right, where it's an unfair, maybe netcode meatball. But that might just be an element of the game. It happens on other cars sometimes as well. Not the touring cars, though. Those things were tanks. There's some more contact into the hairpin, but it looks like everyone survived. Did someone just disappear? Is that Dan Downing? He's normally a blinker. I can't see him on my timing screen. I definitely saw someone disappear in that midfield. I haven't seen anyone pop up in red saying that... Oh, tell a lie. I was going to say I haven't seen anyone pop up saying they've crashed. I have seen Dan Blake in the red saying he's crashed. But he's out there by himself, so maybe does he just pull over? What happens to Dan Blake here? I don't think anything happens. As it goes horribly wrong into turn 1. No. We're just going to have a nice little look at his livery. It says late on his number plate as he was one of the last to sign up after Media Day. Dan Downing is there off at Druids again. Was it him that disappeared? I wonder if it was him that disappeared. Let's go back live. This is what it looks like then. Lap 6 of 8. Jameson Huffman has closed the gap massively to Stephen King in the last few laps. This is what it looks like at the front. He had a second lead earlier on in the race. With 2 laps to go, Huffman and Farr are now right behind Stephen King, who has led from start to finish. Greg Otley is starting to lose touch with this lead pack. So that is Morgan Burkhardt, Bailiff, Majorek, Dupart, Germany and Lopez. You've got top 10. Ray, Oliver, Wallace, Agard, Toyka, Corpus, Morse, Ridley, Burns, and Alston, Cranston, your top 20. Amundare, Lequay, Caraday, Hole, Michael, Hughes for Zero, Forks Giving Racing, Weiswanger, Thornton, Fox and Murray, and Downing, your top 30. Askew, Van der Vaal, Maninveld and Blake round off your top 34. But this is where it's at right now. Lap 7, Jameson Huffman has a quick look to the inside towards the chicane. I thought he was going to try and send that there, but Stephen King holding off the pressure. You want to have a look at what it looks like behind. This is what it looks like behind Stephen's car as Jameson Huffman kicks out the back end. Austin Farr will be slightly annoyed at that because he's going to get a little bit of a run now, is Austin. And Stephen will be enjoying seeing this because if these two fight now, it's only going to help Stephen's charge towards this win. 1/10 of a second it was before that slide. It's now half a second and Austin Farr's still on the inside. They're still fighting and we're approaching the white flag lap. Lap 7 of 8. The final lap is coming up and Stephen King has pulled 7 temps in the matter of corners because these two are fighting. Austin Farr is not hanging about though behind because Jameson Huffman, he does brake late though, round the outside does Jameson and he keeps it. And now Greg Otley is back in the field. Morgan Burkhardt is in P5. I'll tell you what, in pre-selection day, Morgan Burkhardt won both races and it was slightly worrying because Project Dynamic looks to be absolutely on form as they've got about 4 podiums, I think, out of 6 possible drivers on the podium that day. So it was looking like Project Dynamic were the team to beat. The team's championship, I have a feeling, is going to be fairly close this season. There's quick drivers spread throughout, and it's going to be really tough. 12 teams. Jameson Huffman holding on. Stephen King looking pretty strong there at the front. And there we go. I found the drone shot as they all start coming down. That's Agard chasing down Wallace. That's Toyka there behind in P14 now, trying to chase down Jerry Agard and Martin Wallace there. And this is Jan Weiswanger we haven't seen yet. The Meatball Motorsport livery. Oh, have we seen an overtake? Oh, I'm glad I caught that. People were going to enjoy seeing Jan Weiswanger back to his old ways. He used to have the words "no brakes" written on his number plate. And now you know why, as Duncan Murray might take advantage. No, Duncan Murray's already gone through. That's Dan Downing trying to take advantage of the lockup. Back to the front, though, because the fight is happening. But Stephen King, I think, is going to be our first winner unless something crazy happens into the final corner. It's only media day. There's no points on offer, but it's all for a bit of fun. They're all getting used to meeting each other. It's a brand new grid. We've got new drivers, old drivers, RLTC drivers, people driving this Jetta for the first time, people who have driven it for a long time. And Stephen King comes over the hill for the first race of the season, technically, and takes your first win with Jameson Huffman there in P2 for Frog Leap Juice Racing and Austin Farr for Street Casuals, casually strolling his way up to the podium. Greg Otley there for ZFG in P4. People will be congratulating that man for that 100%. A friendly grid who have known Greg since he was an independent driver, and they will be absolutely screaming for him. Absolutely for sure. I'm running out of words. Morgan Burkhardt there in P5. John Bailiff down 3 places. Who was the biggest gainer in this race? It was obviously Jake Cranston. 13 places gained up into P20. So starting from the back, not going to work, people. We've worked that one out nice and early. Rod Askew on his debut gained 5 places. He went up to 29th place. Who else have we got? Jesus Amundre up 5. Alejandro Caraday. He had a bit of a nightmare during pre-selection day. A few crashes, few late breaks, and he's gained 7 places today, up into 23rd from 30th. So it was a good day for Caraday. Stephen Burns, he gained 4 places from where he started. Sorry, I was just watching. They're all coming back to the pits as they. Oh, do you know what? I have not seen. I haven't looked at the viewers for a while. There are a lot of you out there watching with us today for Media Day. That is insane. And I hope you all come back for round 1. And actually, this is now a good time to go through the calendar, because after we catch the last bit of practice on broadcasts, we catch the 8-minute qualifying, we catch the sprint race, and then the drivers and yourselves can go for approximately a 10-minute break. Obviously come back before the 10 minutes is over, because you don't want to miss the start of the feature race. So the drivers can do what they want now. They can either go out on track, they can talk about how the race went, they can have arguments with whatever, but of course they might be putting stuff into the steward's room. Hopefully not today, because there's no points on offer. And now it is a good time for me to be able to do... We'll go through the results in a second. I want to show you the calendar for this season. So here it is. Today is the 12th of September. It is Media Day, and we're here at Oulton Park. We then take a nice short journey to Donington Park in the UK, in Derby, and then we go to round 2, another journey. This is all week after week. So next Monday we're going to be at Donington Park. The Monday after that we're going to go to Brands Hatch GP, not the Indy layout, that would be chaos, but the GP layout. So we're going to do the back section in the forest, and then we take a little flight over. No flight advertising here, but I imagine we'll be flying with Blian Air. Let's call them Blian Air. Zandvoort, the shorter layout. That's going to be an interesting one. I don't think any of us have raced there before, so we'll see how that goes, especially in this car. There's a weird little hairpin at the Zandvoort layout the Monday after.
Smooth operator.
Oh,
smooth operation.
I left my Twitch. That's
Carlos.
Jerry Agard using the Twitch things. I definitely turned them off. I need to return them off before next week's round. And we can delete these YouTube comments as well. Let's block this. What was I saying? Oh yeah, we take a short break for the 10th of October, which would be a Monday as well. And then we go for a 4-week stint. So the middle leg, the American leg, we fly over to America, US Airlines, I imagine. Lime Rock Park kicks off at 17th of October. The Monday after is Summit Point. The Monday after is Laguna Seca. And the Monday after that, I think what we're all looking forward to is Long Beach, a street circuit, which I don't think we've done before, if I am correct in my head. Street circuit is going to be interesting. We then go for one more break on the 14th of November before heading overseas one more time for Twin Ring Motegi East, where we raced in the RLTC, and I had a corker of a race there, and we hope to have the same again in the Jettas. And Okayama full circuit, which we haven't been to since season 1, and there was interesting fights, interesting incidents happening at Okayama full. Surprisingly didn't happen when we went to the short layout in season 2, but season 1 actually caused more problems on the full layout, so maybe we'll see some of that. And the finale, for the first time, is no longer Watkins Cup, which it has been for the previous 2 seasons, but it's that legendary little track in Australia that throws up crazy races every single time. Every single time. It needs to... Sorry, I'm just trying to block these spam chatters from YouTube. But yeah, Oran Park, crazy race. It really is. And I look forward to it. And I hope you join us throughout the season, because it's going to be interesting to see where people end up finishing. Whilst there's a few minutes left, might be able to have time for an interview, but let's have a quick look at the results to make sure the results screens works. We're testing all the overlays today. That is not what we want to see. What about now? Nothing. What about now? There we go. Stephen King, Pulsar eSports, 3 temps in the lead. Jameson Huffman, Austin Farr, Greg Otley, Morgan Burkhardt, John Bailiff, Andre Marek, Patrick Dupart, Joshua Germany, and Ade Koba-Lopez there in P10. That is your top 10. That's a hefty amount of points. Donny Alpha Henriksen says he has bad memories of Oran Park. That'll be in reference to his jump start, followed immediately by driving off at turn 2 into the wall, and that ended his day very quickly. Ray Oliver, P11, Martin Wallace, P12, Timu Toyka finished P13 in the end, David Corpus 14, 15th for Henry Moore, 16th for Carl Ridley, Stephen Burns 17th, Jake Cranston made it up to 18th in the end. I feel like he gained a few more positions at the end of the race without us seeing. But a good effort nonetheless. Jesus Amundere, Ika Lequay there for Lurchus Gaming in P19 and 20. They'll be happy with that. Points all the way down the grid this season. Used to be top 20, so there were people that wouldn't get points, but now everybody gets those points. Caraday, Hughes in P22, Dan Thornton P23. I don't know how Dan will feel about that. I think he should be happy with that, considering the people that he has beaten. Well, just because they got involved in crashes doesn't mean he still didn't beat them. 23rd, you got Duncan Murray behind him, who was fairly close. Dan Downing there, in fact, all of Goldwing somehow behind at the back. So maybe they were in their usual crash phase. Goldwing getting started early with their reputation. Jan Weisfanger there in P26, Rod Askew P27, Alexander van der Velde P28, Eric Mannitveld P29, Jerry Agard 30th. That's not... Jerry Agard was near the top, so he's had a crash near the end as well. Sebastian Hallmichael, Sam Van Alst, Andy Fox and Dan Blake. Unfortunately, with the crossover of sessions, I can't go back and watch the replay, so it's disappeared from my timing screen. But it'd be interesting to hear what happened, or to see what happened when I watch back the race tomorrow, to see how everyone got on. And that is it for the results. So, I don't need to... In fact, I don't even know if I'll be able to remember the point system from my head, to be honest. To be able to tell you where is... Oh, Ade Koba-Lopez is out there getting his practice in. I do like that livery, you know. Just admiring it. Being admirer, as Henry Morse would say. 3 minutes left. There's a minute grid up time. I'll go through the grid shortly. Remember, the top 12 are going to be reversed. Don't think we've got time for an interview, to be honest. No one is in the waiting room anyway. I see that everybody has split off into their team chats, so they couldn't handle being in the chat all together, which they were when I first joined in here, which I thought was crazy because there was loads of them in there. Discussing team tactics and stuff. Eric Mannitveld here in his street casuals car. He's got a Red Bull helmet on. Who else is on track? Sebastian Hallmichael has a Meatball, an original Meatball Motorsport suit on. Corpus running the plain white. ZFG have their own suits. Look at that helmet as well for Brandon Hughes. Caraday with his signature helmet. People driving around out there. Let me know where you're watching from. I can see so many of you. Thank you for joining us here on Media Day. 1 minute left before the session ticks over. I suggest people practice their pit stops because they're going to need it in this next race. I'm trying to take a breather. In fact, I might just have a quick drink. Valdez31 says, is the two-stopper any good? No. They will always be one-stop races. They don't need to change tyres. That's a rookie mistake if you see people doing that. It is just for fuel, the stops. They don't have to change tyres, but you will see people. So many times pit stops have decided races over the last 2 seasons. Whether it's someone going straight past their pit box, not going to mention any names because I don't want to give them that reputation again. And then you see them reverse. Whether it's someone who forgot to untick their tyres, so they start fueling and then they change their tyres and they're in there for like 20 seconds longer than everyone else. And then you've got the people that... what else do they do in the pit stops? I'm going to need to fly through this grid quickly. Martin Wallace starts on pole. Ray Oliver, Ade Koba Lopez, Josh Germany, Patrick Depart, Andre Mayerek, your top 6. John Bailiff, Morgan Burkhardt, Greg Otley, Austin Farr, Jameson Huffman, Stephen King round off your top 12. Reverse top 12. Timu Doika in P13, Corpus, Morse, Ridley, Burns, Cranston, Amundare and LeQuay, your top 20. Carraday, Hughes, Thornton, Murray, Downing, Weiswanger, Askew, Van der Velde, Mannenfeld, Agard, Holmichael, Van Olst, Fox and Blake round off your top 24. That is your grid for this race. Martin Wallace on pole position. The lights are on already. They all readied up, so no one gave me a chance to finish. It is time to go. And who's going to get the better start? Martin Wallace and Ray Oliver are starting side by side for the first time since season 1, and we all know how that went. There was a big crash, but it looks like Wallace has had a decent start, and Ade Koba Lopez round the outside of Ray Oliver. You can use the track extend, maybe not as much as Joshua Germany, and Ray Oliver somehow has gone flying off, and so has one of the Project Dynamic cars in the background. I think that was Morgan Burkhardt, and I'm not sure how. I want to watch a replay, but we need to sort of watch the first lap of action here. Patrick Dupart is up into P3. He's gone ahead of Joshua Germany. Andre Mayerek's going to try and go around the outside of the hairpin as well. They all start getting a little bit nudgy into this area. I want to find out what happened to Morgan Burkhardt. He's down here somewhere into turn 1. His car just hasn't, he's gone straight on. That was an interesting one, but what happened to Ray Oliver? Is it contact somewhere along here? Oh, it was just not letting Ade Koba Lopez back on. That was in the briefing, to be fair. You should let the driver back on because they are allowed to use that runoff. You need to rejoin before the grass, so it's hard to say who would get a penalty for that. You'd have to rewatch it from an angle. I don't want to do that now because we need to go back live, see what's happening with the race, because Andre Mayerek is tumbling down the order because there has been a big crash. There's a Lurchus Gaming car involved. Mannenfeld's involved. Who is going to get through? Andre Mayerek is going down the order. What has happened here? Lopez takes the lead from Wallace up here. That was around the outside of the final corner. Burkhardt's jumped to the pits. Corpus has gone off track. We need to find out what happened to Andre Mayerek. There's more crashes going on. You can hear the contact. Koba Lopez, that's Austin Farr, I think, who's had an issue. Some people pitting now. Anyone that's got a meatball can pit before the lap 5 mark. Everyone else has to wait till the 5th lap, unless they've got a meatball. Brandon Hughes, I think, has had a crash, and maybe it was something to do... Oh, okay, he spun at the chicane. That wasn't too bad. Andre Mayerek, here's his crash. He's lent on John Bailiff as they come up the hill, or is John lent on Andre as he spun round into the wall? Or Jameson Huffman's been collected. That is Greg Otley, who I think survived. Ridley's involved. Amundare, Oliver, Ika LeQuay, Mannenfeld, Thornton. A load of cars. One more time, I think. Can we get a above shot of this? It's hard to say who's at fault from that initial contact. But then the cars come piling in. Greg's done really well there, I think. I think he's going to have to pit anyway. But he slammed on the brakes. Stephen King makes it through. Timu Doika makes it through. Henry Morse gets a double tap. Number 8 for Frog Leap. Juiced Racing. Oh, people coming in. Okay, let's go back live and see what's happened. Anything else? Duncan Murray's lost his electricity, so he is out the race. Load shedding in South Africa. Today, Greg Otley is in the pit lane. We need to catch back up on what is happening here because we've had some pit stops. In fact, this is a good time to have a look at this. Is this going to work? Pit strategies. So some people... I mean, we're only on lap 2. Oh. There we go. It's coming back. Thank you. We'll load it up. There we go. So yeah, some people have pit already. You can see it there on your right hand side. That is what it looks like. Your current order. Fox and Blake are up 18 places according to that. That is insane. You can see some people with the blue lines. They're the ones that are on their new stint. Morse, Ridley, Farr, Oliver, Agard. Otley's is going to change when he crosses the line next time. I imagine Van Ulster's pit as well. Could also do it this way. I just realised we haven't had their numbers on before we race. Have a look at their car numbers as well. There we go. See who is who. Pit. Stops. That's what we wanted. And it doesn't say because the numbers are in white. So there's something I need to change for round 1. The pit stops writing. That's what we're here for. That's why we're at Media Day. Martin Wallace is holding on to Ade Cobra Lopez in the top end of this. Lap 4 of 16. We're a quarter of the way through this race. And your top 3 is looking as close as it did at the start. Patrick Dupart on his debut, the Polish driver of number 23 in ORD, he's having a really good race. Because he's sat here in P3, he's right behind the top 2, and he's got Joshua Germany chasing down, and I think he's raced a couple of times through the SimLab season this season. Donnie Henrikson's in Twitch chat again. He says he's watching from his hotel room in some awful concert business park in the outskirts of Copenhagen. Only tolerable due to the presence of the minibar, concrete business parking. Lost my electricity, said Duncan Ray wasn't enjoying it, and he was having fun. Morgan Burkhardt is also out of this race by the looks of it, so it looks like he's called his day early for Media Day. I don't think we'll be seeing him quit when there are points on offer. But this is something we haven't seen in a while. There are 3 Pulsar cars next to each other on track. That is Germany leading the way with King behind and Toyka behind them. Jamison Huffman in P8. Jake Cranston is in P9, last season's double champion. The only champion we've had in the Volkswagen Jetta Cup so far is there in P9, so let's see where he can get to. Maybe he is showing it can still be done from last to first. He started last in the first race. Can he make it to the top end of the feature race? Pit stops are ever so important. I can't stress it enough. Alexander van der Velde, we haven't had a good look at the Project Dynamic livery yet, but here is what that looks like. Van der Velde currently by himself in P12. Dan Poulton is up 10 places in P13. He's got Andy Fox for company for Win It or Bin It right behind him, and Alejandro Carade behind them for Meatball Motorsport, and that is Dan Blake in P16 for Team 12. Lap 5 of 16, and Dupart is really piling on the pressure. I wonder who is going to be the first to make a move out of this lot. They're heading down towards the chicane. Bailiff's having a quick look at Patrick, who... I thought it was Germany there, so Bailiff's come out of nowhere. I've just been ignoring him all race. There he is, Win It or Bin It, number 22, John Bailiff. He's always a strong contender. He doesn't want me to put the pressure on him of being a potential championship threat for this season, because I did that last season, and we all know how that went for Jonathan Bailiff. It did not come to fruition. If anything, who is looking impressive for a championship charge based on Media Day alone? I'm asking you, chat. I can see all of you watching, whether you're on VCO eSports Twitch or YouTube, or watching with us on the Racing Line YouTube or Twitch. I can see all of your chats. Who is looking strong for this championship fight so far? We do normally vote for driver of the days at the end of the races. We can give that a go. We need to test that. And we start to see some people coming into the pits. This is where the pit stop phase is open. So lap 5 is ticked over. Some people are like, okay, I'm bored of this train. I'm going to come in and we'll see what happens. The track map on the right hand side shows the greyed out sorry, I was reading chat at the same time. The greyed out drivers at the top there were in the pit lane. And where does Jake Cranston come out? He's going to come out in 18th place. Kakalo has jumped into Twitch. He said, Pulsus is going to win the team's championship. They're looking strong for the team's fight. And Lopez is looking strong for a driver's title. That's a good shout by Kakalo in Twitch chat. Lopez currently leading this feature race, but remember, both races are worth the same amount of points. Pulsus there in 4th, 5th and 6th, so you would say as a team they are looking strong. Cranston, Agard, Alpha Henriksen are going to be in the team's fight. Where are they currently? Cranston 19th, but he'll be climbing after the pit stops. Agard 25th. Based on today, I'm going to say no, but they did win last season, so don't count them out because they are going to be strong. I 1x'd all my quali and would have been top 10. Would have, should have, could have, Duncan Murray. 1x's are a part of this track. Stay within those limits and it will not happen. Haven't seen anyone get DQ'd yet, which is good. Whoa! Joshua Germany nearly come flying into the pits then. Decided not to. Stephen King went in instead. I wonder if they're having fun in chat. That looked extremely weird from this angle. They do know they're not using the same pit box. It's not like real life where one can pit and one can't. They should have just both gone in. Goldwing will be team champion, says Duncan Murray. I am going to say no. But Dan Downing is holding strong, actually, in P7. I don't know why I'm saying no, guys. I'm just here talking over what is happening. Dan Downing's still blinking, so we're not going to watch him much. Yeah, I'm just talking over what's happening here. Realistically, I've got no idea what's going to happen. 60 points for a win in both races, so 120. You get a point for fastest lap. That's 122. You get a point for pole position. That's 123. That's the max score you can get to dominate a round. We're not going to see anyone dominate a round, I can guarantee that. Alejandro Caraday has had an issue with Jan Weisfanger, I believe. The teammates of Meatball Motorsport into the hairpin. Caraday going to outbrake himself. Boom! And now Weisfanger knows how it feels. I'll tell you what. There's so there has been so many teammates crash into each other in our leagues that it's worrying. It's worrying. It's worrying in a fun way. I can't imagine what those drivers' briefings are like afterwards. But good times. Caraday getting used to the brakes. And there is another Pulsar's car in the background coming shooting into the pits. That was Timu Toika, and Joshua Germany is staying out. But your top two, we're looking at them. It's Martin Wallace and Lopez. Joshua Germany's right behind. Patrick Dupart behind them in P4. So Joshua Germany has passed Patrick. I wonder if he'd done that on track. Dan Blake has passed Timu Toika for P7. This is because, I don't know why I clicked on that replay. Because he's in the pits. And I knew that. So I shouldn't have clicked on that. Should have ignored my instincts. Martin Wallace is looking for places to get past our new 8K driver. Look at him, he's all over the back of him. Martin Wallace really wants this. He's trying. He's in the slipstream. We're at the halfway point of this race now. It's going to have to be a heck of a send to get it done into this chicane. Brakes nice and safely. These tyre walls are pretty lethal. He's actually carried a bit too much speed into that apex point into the chicane there. But at the same time, he's got a decent enough exit, and the slipstream is going to keep him well into play in this race. But he is looking. Where's the weakness of Mr. Lopez up ahead? Has he made any mistakes? Can he put any pressure on to force him into a mistake? He looks fairly tidy through Druids. He's absolutely nailed both of those apexes. Has Lopez, but he's not pulled away from Wallace because the slipstream is going to keep him in. And of course, Wallace is a capable driver in his own right. Wallace brakes a little bit later into the final corner by the sounds of it and gets a decent exit out of that final turn as they go down the dip, up and over the hill. And Martin Wallace comes into pits. He's decided he's had enough. He's going to shoot in, make sure he gets it slowed down enough for that speed line. Where is his pit stop? Joshua Germany has come in as well. This could be interesting. So Lopez is now out there by himself. Is Josh? Who's going to get the fastest? That was one of the pit stoppers I forgot to mention. You also want to untick the fueling thing because it gives you too much. Just like that, because Joshua Germany has done Martin Wallace in the pits. But another mistake that regularly gets made is sometimes you tick it too early and you're under fuel and you're not going to make it to the end. So that is something that we might see here. But Joshua Germany has absolutely, look at the gains he's made in the pit stops. He's way ahead, and Timu Toika comes through as well, back into P8. Polster 6, 7, 8. John Bailiff up ahead. I wish I hadn't messed up that pit stop things. I would love to know who stopped and who hasn't. We know Koba Lopez hasn't. We know Dupart hasn't. I'm not sure if Downing has. We can have a look at this one again. It's showing here that Lopez, Dupart, Downing and Blake have not pit yet. Blake is up 30 places. Downing is up 22. I believe everyone else has pit. Wallace and Huffman would have just come in, as did Germany. So that will change when they cross the line. It will show the blue markings. So that is your pit stop strategy so far. A lot of drivers came in on that first lap. That would be a nightmare if this round was for points, because we would have to look over that to make sure that everybody got a neat ball. So you're not allowed to pit before lap 5. Koba Lopez is in. Dupart is in. They are in the pits. Where are they going to come out? Let's go and have a look. Daniel Downing is in. We need to go on board with our first pit stopper, which is John Bailiff. This is what it looks like from John Bailiff's car. Where is he going to come out? Is he going to catch anybody? Can he see anyone? I think Koba Lopez is already at the pit exit. There's another car. That is Koba Lopez there on the right-hand side. John Bailiff up into P2 after making his pit stop, and that is the leader up ahead, 1.1 seconds ahead, who's going to be on cooled down tyres, shall we say, as John Bailiff is in the flow of things. He's going to try and catch him up. He's now down to 7/10, and he's well within the slipstream now as he chases down a victory here. But look who is behind him. That is the Pulsar's eSports are there in 3rd, 4th and 5th because of the pit stops. Martin Wallace dropped to P6 after that pit stop phase, but he is chasing down Timu Toika. Patrick Dupart is not letting him go there in P7, and Jameson Huffman. I'll tell you what, Jameson's had a good day. And if he can turn up to all of the rounds, he will be he's going to be one of my strong contenders for the season. I'm not going to beat around the bush with that. I'm glad to see these two on track together. Are they side by side or like even close? No. Henry Morse, Austin Fart for Street Casuals, a little bit far apart. Kyle Ridley in the number 8 car for Oblique Juiced Racing. He's in P12. That is Stephen Burns in P13. The winner of minute, Greg Otley is there in P14. He has done really well today. He's going to have a decent point, so it'll be interesting to see where he is at the end. Alexander van der Velde there is in P15 and Cranston down in P16, so maybe he didn't make as many gains as I expected. Oh my god, what have we missed up here? It was a pass for the lead. Stephen King's coming through as well. John Bailiff has taken the lead of this race. Stephen King had a look to the inside of turn 1 on lap 11 on Koba Lopez, but it didn't quite work. Let's have a look how John Bailiff got past him before we go back to that live battle before the hairpin. It looks like it might have been... No, this is not the right thing. This is the wrong people. John Bailiff we wanted. So he's on the inside for the final corner. Brian Ringle says, Jettas are back. Thank you. John Bailiff sends it down the inside of Lopez. Lopez gives him plenty of room. Oh, bit of a touch on the exit, and that is how we saw Stephen King get a decent exit. There's been no change on the live race. So let's go back now and see what it looks like. Stephen King is all over the back of him. Is he pushing Lopez to try and catch back up to John Bailiff? Because John is no slouch, and he knows that John could... John could run away with this now that he's taken the lead, because we know he's got the pace and he'll be happy with this. He's won a media day before, so let's not get too excited. But here he is, John Bailiff for Win It or Bin It. Win It or Bin It. Lap 11 out of 16, approaching lap 12. Kakala says Bailiff parked it on that apex there. No chance for Lopez to cross over. Not entirely illegal as long as it doesn't look oh come on, parking on the apex could be ridiculous, but it depends. That one looked like it was just the way the cookie crumbled, to be honest. Dan Blake, I think, has had another crash. That's what it's showing here. I wonder who that was with. Was it with Weisswanger? Here they go down towards the chicane. Dan Blake on the inside. Oh, Weisswanger on the grass. That's not Dan Blake's fault at all. But yeah, that's a shame. He'll be annoyed with that. But that was Jan Weisswanger braking on the grass. An easy mistake to make, especially around Oulton Park. I can't say I haven't done it myself, because I have. Not at that point, though, to be honest. It's more down into turn 2, turn 3, the downhill long left, where we saw people breaking on the grass last season. Oliver and Agard, I think, are having a hell of a fight down here. I've been seeing them swap over. You've got Corpus there in the lead as well. Vanolst ahead of them. So this is a 4-car train. Vanolst, we know, is strong defending when he wants to be. With Davy Corpus behind, how is Davy Corpus overtaken? That is the question. He's forcing him to the outside. Ray Oliver looks to the inside. And that was a good decision by Ray, I think, to be honest. Can he get the exit, though? It's all about that exit. Oh, they lean on each other. And I think that's going to have ruined Ray's run. It now depends. Sam has to choose who he gives the slipstream to. He's giving it to Corpus. He's actually driving in the middle, so maybe he is giving it to Ray. He forces them to race. He will be able to pull away. Back up the front, Stephen King is still piling on the pressure for Lopez. You got Toika, actually, who is putting on the pressure for Joshua Germany. And they're coming under pressure from Martin Wallace, who has shown insane pace around Oulton Park today as we approach lap 13 of 16. 3 laps to go. Martin Wallace into turn 1, chasing down these two. Depart a little bit further back. Downing is not far from Huffman. Ridley is not far from Farr. In case you don't know what I said there. Austin Farr. There he is. Who else? We've got Van der Velde chasing down Greg Otley with Jake Cranston right behind him. P16. There are battles all over the place. Look for the pink numbers on the left-hand side, guys. That is when you see a close fight. Just like this one. Because Martin Wallace is looking down the inside of Teemu Toika for the chicane. He's going to have to brake ridiculously late, and this is going to be a test. Well, okay, Martin's backed out of it and is nice and safe. And Teemu Toika's done extremely well, turned it into the chicane, and he keeps that position. So anything with a pink number is looking fairly close. Stephen King looking like he's got a run up the hill. He's not going to make it into Druids. Surely Ade Koba Lopez shuts that door, and then it goes to the left-hand side. It would have had to have been a hell of a send into that corner. It's not even a real braking zone. It's basically a lift and a tap of the brakes as they now come out of that corner down towards the final turn of Oulton Park Island. Oh, he's going to have a look to the inside of the final corner. This is where John done it, but he hasn't broken late enough, so maybe Lopez has learned his lesson, or maybe King is just trying to push Lopez back to John, because if those two race, he might be able to take advantage of both of them. Your top 3 absolutely running away with it. You can see the next 3 in the background there, Germany, Toika and Wallace, and then there's another gap down to Depart there. So these 3 going at it now for the final couple of laps. It's hard to see. Go and watch any of the other races, because you just know that someone is building up for a move. You've got Caraday here, who's looking at Agard into the final turn. Is he going to try and brake late? Not quite. Stephen King still within that 1/10 of a second, down towards the hairpin. Outside is not the best when you're all roughly on even pace. So it's all about getting those best exits you can. And just trying to peer pressure that person to make a mistake, but these 3 are just not cracking. Teemu Toika is side by side with Martin Wallace, and this is the fight started from the hairpin. This happened last lap, and it looks like Wallace is further alongside than before, but Teemu Toika is getting slipstream from Joshua Germany. He's going to turn into the corner. Great stuff from Teemu Toika, who turns in. Martin Wallace has to back out, and he keeps that position. He's in a prime position to get his rear massage nicely, says Kakula. And that was, you were right, it was very fine massaging between Wallace and Toika there. Ray Oliver's in the pits again. I wonder if he's underfueled or if he's got a meatball. Huffman is looking fairly close to Depart now. Germany's going to be doing everything he can to keep Teemu in this race. This is a little bit of teamwork we see, because they're not closing the guys ahead. But is Germany actually holding them up? I wonder. Downing and Huffman. Oh, Downing with his blinky car. Huffman there in the G Racing chasing down Dupart. Agard is chasing down Van Olst. Mayerek is chasing down Caraday. And the closest fight on track is still these top 3. First, second and third after 15 laps of racing. After a pit stop phase, they've all refueled their car. Eric Mannenveld has crashed somehow. I think he's down there by himself. So I wonder if that was just a mistake. In fact, let's have a quick look. He's just going to brake on the grass, surely. Oh, he's just gone straight on. I think he's pulling over. Oh, okay. Never mind. Joshua Germany has had an issue. I think he's gone off track. Was he helped or was he pushed? That's both the same option. Martin Wallace. Oh, it was Teemu Toika who's outbroken himself. He went to defend from Martin Wallace. It's another teammate crash. Joshua Germany off at the hairpin after what would have been a solid finish for Joshua Germany in the number 4 car. Oh, they'll be laughing about that, to be honest, because it's media day, but they'll work on that for the future for sure. Teemu Toika, though, moves up into P4. What's always interesting, if this was for points in the steward's room, what would be interesting is, would they report? We've seen teammates report each other before, and it's hilarious, especially when it's for stuff that's NFA. That one, if it was reported, you would have to say it's Teemu's fault and would probably get a penalty, but since they're both pulses, would they report each other? I am not sure. Stephen King, Lopez and Bailiff. The top 3. Bailiff leading the way. Lopez on his Jetta Cup debut. Stephen King and Bailiff both 2 seasons old. Teemu said that it's better to get team wrecking over please. Wise words. Of course. Hopefully it won't happen again. Oh, Stephen King looks like he's got an overlap here, but it's going to be for the outside of the hairpin. Cranston is in the pits again, so maybe he's underfueled or got a meatball. It's going to be one of those reasons. Stephen King trying to hold... Oh! He's gone deep as Lopez, and Stephen King gets the switchback. It's a move for P2. Lopez has made a mistake. He's gone deep at the hairpin, but he's somehow got the better run down towards the chicane. They're going to be side by side. It's the final lap. Stephen King, though, has more of a car ahead. Can Lopez outbrake him round the outside? Oh, it's going to be tight through there. Oh my God, I'm going to choke. They're side by side still through the chicane. And Lopez and Stephen King fighting their way. And look at this. Lopez still has an overlap now. Stephen King can't move over. So this fight is still going on. John Bailiff 1.8 seconds ahead. It looks like we've got our feature race winner, that's for sure. But this race is not over as Stephen King does slot into P2 with Koba Lopez in P3 and Teemu Toika in P4 after taking out Joshua Germany. Wallace in P5, down in P6. Morse is up into P8, Dupart 9 and Farr in P10. Lopez can't make a move into the final corner. Let's have a quick look at John Bailiff because he's coming up and over the hill to take your first feature race win of the season. There's no points on offer. He's weaving in celebration like he should. Stephen King comes home in P2. Koba Lopez in P3. Now, I don't want to put the pressure on him because he likes to be consistent and just chill out. But I believe that is a first and a second place for Stephen King. So in terms of our question earlier and who's looking good for a championship based purely on media day, Lopez was a good shout from Kakala. King is a good shout from anyone. I'll tell you what, Bailiff has stepped it up with another win. It's going to be open. It'll be interesting to go through the points and see what they're like, which we can't do on stream. It would have to be next time if we did. I'll note that down for next time. See some cars going off in the background there. It's down there. Toika's pulled off. Alexander van der Velde has done the job, so he didn't read the briefing. Cranston, where did Cranston end up? Your 2-time champion. He's pushing Huffman back to the pits. Can't actually see his name. Down in 21st. So he must have had an issue late race as well. Jameson Huffman likely out of fuel if he's being pushed back. Tied 3-2-3, says ZFG was competitive at the top for both races. Great job, guys. And that is a fact. ZFG, the light green, the lime green colour on the left-hand side, it's stripes. You've got Wallace up there in P5. He was strong in both races, and that's great to see. Greg Otley was strong in the first race. 13th is still a good finish there for ZFG. And then Brandon Hughes on his debut in the car and the season is there in 24th, and I think he was around the same place in the last one. 25th to 6th, says F1 Delta, after having to brake super hard on lap 1 for all the incidents. ZFG, baby, says Avavoom. Sorry to Brandon, says F1 Delta, so there must have been contact there between those two. This looked like from Branson's point of view whilst he's pushing Jameson around. Nice little sponsorship there, the Pet Door Company. the strategy look like in the end? Agard, Blake and Thornton, all 3 stoppers. Sorry, 2 stoppers. 2 stoppers. Someone said, does the 2-stop work? That should answer your question. 25th, 26th and 27th. Was it fuel issues? Or was it meatball issues? Agard actually pit on lap 1. So it might have been... I wonder if that was a fuel issue with not being able to get to the end from the start. No, that should be fine. That should have been fine. That wouldn't have been the case. Got a lot of people talking about fuel. This is going to be such an interesting season. I'll tell you what, you should be proud of me. I didn't mention, I think I mentioned it in my last video. For those of you that didn't watch my Simrig tour video, the steward's room is no longer decided on the night. Not that you guys saw this anyway. The stream normally ended and then we spent about an hour in the steward's room dealing with all the crashes straight away. That's not going to happen this season, guys, because I have moved country and my time zone is now different. This UK... I need to stop sucking. Did you hear how many times I just said I feel like I'm having a stroke. Oh no. Oh no. Anyway, the race is over. I have moved. The time is different. It's 12:30 at night. That is why the steward's room no longer happens, because I have work on Tuesdays. Let's have a look at the results of that feature race. John Bailiff with a 2-second lead in the end, after Stephen King and Koba Lopez had all of those little fights behind between Pulses Esports and Team 12. Timu Toika there in P4, Martin Wallace P5, Downing, Germany, Morse, Depart, Far, top 10. Carl Ridley and Stephen Burns. Stephen Burns was quiet these 2 races. I don't recall seeing Stephen that much. We definitely saw him on stream at least once, because I remember the Scottish flag. But to finish P12 under the radar, that is a good effort for Win It or Bin It as well. Andy Fox there in P14, another one. Greg Otley P13, Sam Van Olst ended up in P15 in the end. Andre Mayerek P16, Caraday P17, showing pace, but needs to sort out that those brakes. Corpus seems to have done all right in P18. Let's have a look at the next half. Jake Cranston was 19th, Jesus Mundre 20th, Jan Weiswanger 21st, Hughes, Agard, Van der Velde, Huffman, Blake, Thornton, Askew, and Holmichael and Manetveld, your top 30. And then Oliver, Lequay, Burkhard, and Murray seem to be the ones with laps down. Looks like their races were over. So yeah, Rod Askew on his debut, driving well. And it seems like him and Thornton have been close in both races. Morgan's wheel broke at the start. It did. I remember about Morgan's wheel. It looked like he just went straight on. That was a weird one. Duncan Murray. Yes, his electricity went out. You are bang on correct. Ika Lequay just seems to have had a nightmare. Maybe he had an issue. And Ray Oliver 3 laps down. I thought I saw him out towards the end. But maybe I didn't. Let's have we've got to test everything, of course. It's interview time. At the end of these broadcasts is normally where we do interviews. So let's get rid of these results. And we will put the race in slow motion again. And we will turn the interview logo on at the top. We'll have a look in Discord, and let's have a look at if anyone is in the interview waiting room, and if not, we'll just drag someone up. Let's drag... Got to speak to Jonathan Bailiff, who won the feature race. Where is he? Let's bring him in. Your feature race winner, John Bailiff, for Win It or Bin It. Is this... I didn't put the pressure on, John. I haven't said you're the favourite to win the championship, because I don't want that pressure on you. But it's another great start with a feature race win. How are you feeling?
Pretty happy, to be honest. Didn't have the first race wasn't particularly great, but I knew I was in a good place for the second race, and managed to get the move done on Ade quite early when he came out of the pit. So it was then just about managing the gap. Bit stressful, but I saw Stevie and Ade were fighting towards the end, so that gave me a nice bit of a gap.
Yes, they were fighting and ended up fighting through the chicane and stuff, and you gained about 2 seconds at the end there. Pretty much called it from that point because they weren't catching you in that last half a lap for sure. But you started where did you start in that race? You was about 7th or 8th.
P7.
Yeah, so you've gained a few positions. Was it all in the pit stop phase, or did you have to make many moves on your way up there in that 16 laps?
Well, I think I had a side-by-side with Andre that I was just about to watch, but apparently I think he sort of came over my nose a bit, and that sort of took him out and
on the
caused an issue. But then
up the hill towards Druids, yeah.
And then I came in the pits as soon as I could, and when I came out just in front of Stevie, I thought I'd screwed it up, but it worked out all right in the end.
How was you doing for fuel?
I'd got about half a lap spare.
Oh, that's all right. So you didn't underfuel at all. There's a few people did. I think about 5 people managed to cut it a little bit fine. So that bodes well for people making mistakes for the season, of course. How did you find the first... Where did you finish in the first race?
I think I finished 6th.
Okay. Well, you said that was a bad one. You finished in the top...
Well, yeah, I started 3rd. I was going for a move on P2 and I didn't pull it off and then fell back a bit, so...
Okay, and any interactions with new drivers?
A bit with Ade, but I think that was about it, to be honest. But he seemed fair. He seemed clean, which is good. Can race him, which is always nice.
Yeah, I was just looking. We're watching the slow motion replay. I can see Patrick ahead at the start of the race. I'm not sure if you would have had to pass him as well in one of the ORD cars. He was going.
I think I just pitted instead.
Oh, okay, so you didn't have to race him. Well, it was a great race, John. Another a feature race win, and I hope that you can emulate that in when there's points on offer. Of course.
You win and get across the line.
Yeah. Well, and I will shout it out. I won't forget this time, like in the RLTC. But yeah, it's great to see you back, John, and I'm sure you will have some fans. We had a lot of people watching with us on Media Day, which has been really nice, and that bodes well for round 1 at Donington next week. So thank you for coming to talk to us, and well done on your win. We'll speak to you soon.
Thank you, Jack.
Put John back in the big room with everyone else. Let's talk to race 1 winner and website organizer, Stephen King for Pulsus eSports with a 1st and a 2nd at Media Day. How are you feeling, sir? You've got to be feeling good about that.
Oh, I feel good initially, mate. But now I'm wondering, sat here, have I just used up all my luck and all my talent? And there's no points available. That's my next worry now. Getting imposter syndrome.
You get what? Sorry, say that again.
Imposter syndrome. Like, is it me? Do I deserve this? No, it just went swimmingly. It's a track like Oulton Park. It's all about track positioning qualifying, and managed to nail an absolute amazing lap, and that's your foundation for the event then.
Yeah, I mean it was pretty entertaining from our point of view. I think chat can agree with that. Those that have been getting involved, I was just saying to John, we've had quite a lot of viewers for a media day, which is great. Whether that's the growth of the Racing Line channel, of course, VCO eSports have been involved with promotion as well, and we're on across all 4 channels. And it's great to see so many people with us on a day where there's no points on offer, and we're just really actually showcasing our new drivers, our new teams, our new liveries, and what to expect for the season. Can we expect you on every podium this season?
No. Love absolutely not. I mean, going back to the amount of viewers, I think you've got to give yourself credit. I think that's down to you, Jack, and the production that you do. It's brilliant. So I've missed that. I love racing and then going upstairs, and don't take offence to this, but falling asleep while watching it and hearing my name getting shouted out with a smile on my face. Okay. But that podium every race, that's completely, that's unrealistic. It's similar mentality to RLTC. We've discussed this before. I just want to keep accumulating points. It's only 10 rounds, and as soon as you have one off, especially in a sprint race, and it's then compounded into the feature race, and that's 2 big points opportunities missed. You just have to you just have to have that mindset of survival a lot more than trying to gain track position.
That's right. I think there's going to be rumours that those Maserati grills on the side of that car are.
Scrutineering. Yeah.
It was good to see. Obviously, new teammate in Timu Toika. I was going to say there was one. Hang on a second. This is a compliment and a not a compliment at the same time. What I was going to say was it was good to see Pulsar eSports running all 3 cars in the top 6, top 5 for a while. There was a little bits of gaps, and that bodes well for the teams championship, which Kakala is saying that Pulsars are the ones to watch for that. And then obviously in the hairpin, we had a small issue where I think, and this is what I'm going to assume, and I'm sure you might have already discussed this with him. I'm going to assume that he was looking in his rearview mirror and saw Martin go towards the inside, and then
his mirror driving.
Carried on looking in his mirrors as he dove to the inside and forgot to brake earlier than Josh.
I think you're probably right. Yeah, it's so difficult. I mean, attacking and defending is difficult already, but with that hairpin is so tight. These cars they don't slow down. The brakes are it's a production car, and you get it wrong slightly, and you go so deep. But like you said, it's great. Henry did do that as well. We did do that before. This isn't new, but it's great that he's taken the mantle, and it looks like he could be capable of filling Henry's shoes there.
Yeah, Henry. I don't know where Henry was. He finished P8 in that race, so he did have some strong form. I did see him. I just saw him in the replay actually. Both him and Austin went off at the Druids near the start of the race, so that must be why they probably hindered their feature a little bit. But Street Casuals looking strong. I think. We haven't seen the last of Project Dynamic though. They were strong in pre-selection day. Arthur Thurtle is here today.
I believe Morgan. Yeah, Morgan got. I don't know if his wheel broke. I think he had a mechanical failure.
It looked like it. His car just went straight on towards the wall.
Yeah. So he didn't. He was up in 8th, I believe, started 8th. So he was going to be a factor in that feature race. But you never know. If that hadn't happened, he probably got caught up in the crash further up the road, up towards was it Paddock Bend up at Oulton, to the right hand? Where those cars sprawled across the track. I'm not sure what happened there, but
the double towards Druids, the double right.
The Druids, that's it. Yeah, that's it. When there was an accident there on that.
That will be Andre Majorek and John Bailiff. Doing a leaning on each other.
Oh dear! I mean, John gets penalty. So is that a double win?
From the angle that we saw on stream, it would have been difficult to call for a penalty. It would have to be rewatched, but it looked like an Okayama flashback of one went one way, one went the other, and both of them didn't need to do either. Really, they could have just stayed in their trajectory, but it ended up being worse for one driver more than the other. I think, John went on to win. Andre ended up getting collected by the 30 cars behind. So
that one slowed down.
Yeah. Oh, Greg slowed down. I will give props to Greg Otley.
And Timu did as well behind me. I was so thankful.
Slammed on his brakes. He just couldn't get it stopped in time and did end up driving straight into Andre's door. It was the drivers behind that I think could have maybe done a little bit more. But it is what it is. Congratulations on your results. And I look forward to seeing what happens when points are on offer next week at Donington.
Onwards and upwards, Jack. Thank you again.
Thank you.
I look forward to watching it again in bed and falling asleep to your beautiful voice, as I always do.
Okay, thank you. Speak to you soon.
Speak to you soon.
I think we got time for one more chat, guys. Who should we talk to? We normally do driver of the day. Let me just check if that works. That animation is working. I won't do the poll today. I'll send the poll out next week when it's actually worth it. If you want to, you can just vote in chat, just like it says, hashtag with your driver name, and I'll just count them. Camaral Drive Simulator says, hi, hello, thank you for joining. You've joined us right at the end. Come back a little earlier next week and join us for the race. Donington is a hell of a circuit. It's got a lot of fast flowing corners, downhills, uphills, blind corners, a chicane. In fact, you can see last year's Donington in the intro video, where a certain white and gold car enters the chicane backwards. So there's definitely plenty of things to spice it up. Hashtag King says Kakalo is your vote for the driver of the day. I want to speak to one more person, but I don't know who to speak to. Let's have a look at who is in chat still. Who hasn't ran away? Who got involved with loads of stuff? Well, we saw Andre involved in the crash, so it could be funny to talk to him. But I would... Do you know what? I can see 2 out of 3 drivers. I'm going to bring in 2 drivers. I'm going to welcome into the box... Oh, wait. I think he's just disappeared. That is a shame. Oh, no, wait. He's streaming. That's why he went up to the top. I'm going to take him away so no one can watch his stream. It's Martin Wallace in the interview room today. And I'm going to bring Greg Otley in with us as well. 2 of the ZFG drivers. I think Brandon's gone. That's fine. He's had a busy day. Can't see him. So, but you two, ZFG on the map this season, it seems. Martin, you've had a strong 2 races, I think. And Greg Otley, P4 was it in race 1?
Was indeed.
You got to be happy with that, boys. Tell me how you're feeling after your media day and how you feel for the rest of the season at this point.
Greg, you can go first.
I was feeling really confident after the sprint race. Felt great. Had a really good race behind the other guys in front. Wasn't really making too many mistakes. Managed to keep in front of some faster guys. And then the second race happened and incidents galore, unfortunately. But yeah, I mean, Martin, you were at the front, so how was that for you?
It felt really good to be up there. I'm trying to change my strategy a little bit to get my elbows out a little more. Hopefully you saw a little bit of that on the stream. But at the end there between Timu and Josh, I'd forgotten that they were teammates and they were probably working together, or else I'd have tried to make a little move earlier. But it feels good to be, yeah. It feels good to be kind of at the pointy end of the stick this season so far.
I think you did everything right in terms of that battle, because it seems like you put enough pressure on Timu for him to be looking in his mirrors into the braking zone. So, and that's why Joshua Germany ended up straight on at the hairpin, and obviously you went through. So it was a good race to watch. Didn't see. You were hanging on the back of Lopez for a while. You're up there in P2 for this race. It just looked like the pit stop phase was where potentially you lost out today. Because by the time you came out of the pits... Well, Joshua Germany passed you in the pits by about 1.5 seconds. That was interesting.
I'll admit, I made a mistake, and I could not find my stop fuel button while I was in the pits, so I overfueled quite a bit, and that hurt me.
There you go. So, we were watching the pit stop, for sure, because it was a good example of how things can change, but you stayed with them in P5. And Greg, P13 in the feature race. Remember, there's points all the way down the grid this time. And after your P4 and a P13, I think you might be quite surprised. I haven't looked at the points yet, but you might be quite surprised in the overall points haul. An independent driver last season. You're with the team this season. And I think, based on today, we know what it's going to be like. The races are going to be crazy and anything can happen. But based on today, I'd say that ZFG is in a good place to probably be fighting for a P3, P4 in a team's championship fight. Would you agree?
Yeah, it's exciting. I'm really happy to be part of a team this time round. I think you can already tell, like, even as Martin said, with the Timu and Josh working together, it's really interesting to see what sort of strategies and things can happen when you're together on the track rather than just racing for yourself and just trying to figure out where you'll fit. So yeah, it's great to be part of the team this time round, and we'll see how it goes for the rest of the season.
No worries. Any final words, Martin, before I let you both go?
Yeah, I want to thank you for putting this on, man. This is a really good thing, and to be in season 3 and to be invited back is pretty awesome. Big shout out to the ZFG team. Welcome, Greg, to the ZFG team, and we're looking forward to a good season.
And Brandon really enjoyed himself as well.
That's good.
Yes, and Brandon as well.
I'm glad he enjoyed himself. I think he did quite well. He was 24th in that last race, so he's gained. He's made some gains, and as you know from season 1, he's gonna and yourself from season 2, Greg. Your first season in this, you go from, I guess, feeling overwhelmed in the first couple of rounds to really finding a rhythm by the end of it. And then that's why we end up waiting for the next season, because we want to do it again now that we know what we're doing. But
it's a baptism of fire for sure.
Yeah, but it's great to see so many cars back on track and all so close. We just need to get rid of those silly little big pile-ups, because we can't do safety cars this season like the RLTC. So we'll work on that, and I'll watch that back tomorrow to see what happened and write a little report and whatever. But thank you both for joining me. I will speak to you both soon and see you at Donington.
Thanks very much,
Jack.
You can go back and stream to the other guys now. Well, that is that. Thank you all for watching on VCO eSports YouTube and Twitch, and the Racing Line YouTube and Twitch. That is pretty much it from us. As usual, don't forget to tune in next Monday, same time, Donington. Actual points on offer, actually round 1. So please tune in for that same time as before. It will be on all 4 channels as before. And if I don't see you on track this week, then I'll see you next week for the next video here on the Racing Line. Peace.